An army that ain't like your usual military, with one main rule. How do you beat a guy who's way bigger and stronger than you? From rocket bases hidden deep under the mountains to swarms of drones that completely changed how folks fight nowadays. Welcome to Iran's military setup. Before you can even get how Iran's gear works, you gotta understand how those guys in Tehran actually think. Look, Iran knows they can't go toe-to-toe in a fair fight, plane for plane or ship for ship, against big dogs like the US of A. It's just not gonna happen. So, they use a game plan called asymmetric warfare. That's just a fancy way of saying they play by their own rules. Their whole setup boils down to three simple things. First, swarming the enemy with cheap weapons that pack a massive punch. Second, taking the fight right to the other guy's backyard using their buddies. And third, locking down the main waterways so nobody else can move. How they work? Iran's rockets run on two kinds of fuel. First, you got liquid fuel, like the Khorramshahr 4 and Emad missiles. These take a sweet minute to fill up, but they carry a massive payload that can drop 1.5 tons of destruction. Then, you got solid fuel like the Sejil and Haj Qasim missiles. Now these are the real troublemakers. Why? Because they're sitting underground, fully loaded, and ready to fly in just a couple of minutes. The game plan. Iran uses a tactic called missile swarming. They launch dozens of rockets all at once just to wear down and completely paralyze air defense systems like the Patriot. The whole strategy here is mutual deterrence. That's basically a fancy way of telling the other guy, you touch Tehran and your bases and oil setups get wiped out instantly.
The second weapon, the backup air force. When Iran could not get modern fighter jets, it built the most dangerous suicide and spy drones in the world, the Shahed and Mohajer families. How do they work? The Shahed 136 drone is just a slow, flying bomb. It has a simple and noisy engine, but it flies very low so radars cannot see it. It uses GPS and an internal system that resists jamming to hit its target exactly how they are used. And the strategy, they use drone swarms, launching 20 to 30 drones all at once. The cost, one drone costs less than $20,000, but the missile used to shoot it down costs $1 million. The plan is to waste the enemy's money and military power, and to attack deep inside their land, so they cannot control the skies. The third weapon, the battle of waterways and straits. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy does not rely on large destroyers, but rather on suicide and fast boats, smart naval mines, and anti-ship cruise missiles, such as Qadir and Abu Mahdi. How do they work? Ashura and Zulfikar boats are very fast, armed with guided missiles or loaded with explosives, kamikaze. They operate through stealth and proximity to the shores, exploiting the complex geography of the Gulf deployment mechanism and strategy. The deployment mechanism is known as mosquito warfare. Hundreds of fast boats attack massive naval vessels from all directions at the same time, which confuses the ship's defensive systems. The strategy is anti-access/area denial, a 2/AD. The ability to close the Strait of Hormuz, the global energy lifeline, and turn the Gulf and the Red Sea into a forbidden zone for Western fleets. The fourth and fifth weapon, protecting the skies and shadow wars. Iran has developed homegrown air defense systems like Bavar 373 and Sivam Khordad, the very same system that brought down that massive American spy drone, Global Hawk, back in 2019. How do they work? They rely on active electronically scanned array, AESA radars, to track stealth targets from miles away. Read enough. Alongside this, Iran's got electronic warfare, EW units capable of hacking and steering enemy drones, or completely paralyzing infrastructure networks through cyber attacks. Iran's weapons may not be the most modern or advanced in terms of absolute technology, but they are the most efficient in performing their function, causing the maximum amount of chaos and destruction at the lowest possible cost, and achieving the deterrence that prevents an all-out war from occurring. The Iranian arsenal has proven that modern warfare is no longer measured by how luxurious the weapon is, but by how cleverly it is used. Share your thoughts with us in the comments. Do you believe that Iran's deterrent strategy is capable of holding up in the face of any major upcoming confrontation? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive the hidden secrets of military power around the world. Goodbye.